Tento pořad vám přináší Kytary.cz, svět hudebních nástrojů.
How is it possible that's okay?
What's that?
How is it possible that's okay?
How is it possible?
In my
You want to say you think it's okay?
Everything is okay. Okay, that's good. I gotta make a few adjustments here. And then we'll go. So Jerry, can you do me one favor? Can you tighten everything down as much as possible on the drum set? Tighten everything. As tight as you could do it.
Yeah.
Just, no, with these. Tighten everything, because if it can break, it will. Because I play hard. Thank you. So, wow, cool. Thanks for coming to my clinic. I appreciate it. You get paid to come to my clinic. Thank you very much. You're the lucky one. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you coming. I wanted to give you a gift because you came to my clinic. You don't want it? Here, he doesn't want it. You want it? You want it? Here you go. I want it. Here. You want it? See, he's not stupid. He takes it. Thanks for coming to my clinic. I appreciate it. This is a medley that I produced of some of the songs from the artists of which I've worked. Have fun. Stupid girl. I'm just making a few adjustments here. We got here kind of late. Sorry about that. So I kind of ran up here. I tightened it. Jerry, it wasn't tight. It's okay, man. So, I gotta ask you a question. I got to know, has anybody here ever had your heart just broken by somebody else?
Yeah.
Anybody? Only one guy? Two? Well, you know when you get your heart broken so bad, it's ripped out of your chest, she throws it on the ground, she's stepping on your heart, there's your heart, it's out of your chest, and you're heartbroken. And then you hear that one song. The song that mends all of the heartache and corrects all of the wounds. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know that song, you know that feeling, ladies and gentlemen. Well, my friend Stephen Perkins had a band called Panic Channel. And they had this delicate, sweet love song that just made me feel so touched and so sensitive. I'm going to play it for you right now. It's called Bloody Mary.
Call
My name is Mark Schulman. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Welcome. Good to see you. Mark Schulman, drummer. It's what I do. I beat on things for a living. Nice to meet you. How you doing? How you doing? Nice to meet you. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you, everybody. So I have had an extraordinary career. Hi. Playing with some of the most successful and talented musical artists of all time. Do you realize, nice to meet you, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, good to see you, good to see you. How are you? Good to see you, my name is Mark. Nice to see you. Hey man, how you doing? Good to see you, good to see you. I see, okay, see you later, thank you everybody, bye-bye. I went snow skiing in the middle of the burning hot summertime in an indoor ski arena in Dubai on my birthday with Pink. I shot a music video on the Eiffel Tower up high at night in the rain with Simple Minds. And I also played in front of 220,000 people with Simple Minds. I played, thank you, I played in front of the President of the United States and his wife with Cher twice. Not once, twice. I played the VH1 Storytellers with Billy Idol. I played the Grammys with Pink, Tina Turner, Beyonce. What else have I done? Oh, Paul McCartney showed me photos of his daughters on his cell phone at the Isle of Wight Festival. Frickin' Paul McCartney, man! So I have had a very nice career.
What about the Foreigner?
Oh, with Foreigner? You know what I did with Foreigner? I had a private guided tour of the Inca ruins of Machu Picchu with Foreigner. You know, it's been a good life. But it all stems from my passion to play drums. And that all started when I saw a performance on television that changed my life forever, and I was only about this big. My life would never be the same. And then I saw Ringo, and I saw my future. But then I saw all of the screaming girls. That's all I needed to close the deal. So I would beat on everything. I beat on the bed. I beat on the car. I beat on my brother. But he would beat me back. So I found a drum set. At 5 years old, I finally had the chance to play my first drum set at my friend's house, at my neighbor's house. And I sat down at the kit, and I knew what to do. And I still remember the exact beat that I played. Now, is there anything weird about that beat? Is there anything strange to you? Nothing strange at all about that beat?
No hi-hats.
What's that?
No hi-hats.
Well, yeah, there's no hi-hat, of course, because I didn't know what the hi-hat was yet. The beat is in 5/4. Does anybody know what 5/4 is?
Yes.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm 5 years old, and I'm playing in 5/4. So as a tribute to my original beat, since then I've really grown to love odd meters. So I'm going to play a song for you right now from a band that I used to be in called Fusion Folk, and it's in, anybody? 5/4. Oh, feel free to get up and dance. Feel free to throw money, whatever you like. I take a lot of things. I'm very happy. instrument pedal doing? That's it. Oh, come on, dude. It's not that hard. Let's do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Tighten that up. Okay. Tighten this up right there. Tighten, tighten, tighten. Here we go. Tighten. Tighten that. Tighten that. Hold on. Hold on. We gotta pick this up like this. Put that in there. Okay, Jerry. Now we tighten this. Tighten this. And you can tighten it. Cool. Yeah, we're in. And the cymbal stand as well. Can I have this key for a second? Can I have the key? Sorry about your ear. Okay. Uh-oh. Thank you. Now, Jerry, will you make sure that everything is really tightened, like all of these and all of these? They need to be tight. Everything. See, nothing's tight. I asked you to tighten everything. It's all got to be really tight, or it's not gonna, or it's gonna break. Everything. See, none of these are tight. Cool. Thanks, man. Let's see. Yeah. Rock. Cool. All I wanted to do was play drums, and my mother said no. Drums are too loud. Can't you play a nice, quiet instrument like your brother Randy? He plays violin. I said, okay. So we went to my brother Randy's violin lesson, and while he was being taught, I saw a cello in the corner. And I thought, well, that looks cool, that looks big, maybe I'll play that. But I just wanted to play drums, so I cut a deal with my mother that if I practiced cello every day, that they would buy me a snare drum and some sticks from a catalog, and they did, so I got to play drums and cello, ladies and gentlemen! And I got pretty good at cello. And the first concert I ever played was not on drums, it was on cello. 7 years old, in my elementary school orchestra. I'm walking to school, man, I'm feeling really cool. I'm carrying the cello, it looks like a frickin' machine gun. And then someone comes up behind me and pushes me down, and I fall in the grass with my cello, and I look up, and it's Mike Mitchell, the bully from my class. And he's with two older boys, and they're making fun of me, and they're running around me going, Mark, Park plays cello in the dark. Mark, Park plays cello in the dark. I felt horrible. I picked up my cello, and I'm walking to school like a little old man. And I go right to the auditorium, and I set up my cello, and I don't even look at any of the other kids because I'm too embarrassed. So I'm angry, and I'm embarrassed. And that's when I learned you can take your emotion and you can put it into your performance. So I played the most passionate performance any 7-year-old second grader could ever play on cello. And I rocked. And I felt really good. until it was done. And I remembered Michael Mitchell is in my class, and I gotta go back to class, and I'm worried that all the kids are gonna make fun of me. So I walk back to class really slow. And I walk in. I open the door. My eyes are closed. My head is looking down. And I walk forward and I hear clapping. And I look up and the kids are giving me a standing ovation. And Michael Mitchell is looking at me now like I'm cool. But that's nothing. I look over at Diane Fullerton. I had been in love with that chick since we were 3. And she's looking at me like I'm some sort of celebrity, and she's waving. And that's when I learned a very important lesson. Do you want to know what it is? Do you want to know?
Yes.
Do you want to know?
Yes.
Excellent. People and things do not make me cool. I make people and things cool. Nobody defines who I am. I define it for myself. And let me tell you, I made the most out of this cello thing. Because I stopped playing cello many years ago. But remember, I was on the Pink tour in 2009. Did anybody see that show? The Pink show? Nobody saw the Pink show? But you guys, I played cello in the Pink show. That was me playing cello when I was a kid. I played cello and drums every night. I played in front of millions of people with Pink playing cello. But you know what's even better about that? I got a cello endorsement. A $15,000 cello. So that's what I call taking it to the bank, baby. So my parents could not deny my passion to play drums. And they finally bought me my first drum set at 9 years old. It was an old Slingerland drum set with calf skin heads, a Radio King. And I started playing in a band at 9 years old. I had 2 girlfriends. I started playing professionally at 12 years old. By the time I was 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, I was playing professionally every weekend, and I was making more money playing drums than all of my friends put together. And here's what happened. I never looked at the fact and never even thought about the fact that only a very few number of musicians actually have success, because I never focused on the barrier. I only focused on the goal, and if there was a problem, I always figured out the solution. So my mother always told me I should have something to fall back on. My mother always said, you should get yourself a degree. You should get a teaching credential. But I ended up dropping out of college to play music full-time, and I never looked back. Are there any questions so far, by the way? Are there any answers? I take answers too. I'm also the guy that always took advantage of an opportunity. Like you. I gave him 200, what's the, 200 kroner? 200 crown. And he didn't even take it. But the other guy next to him, very smart. He said, I'll take it. See, I'm that guy. I'm the one, when there's an opportunity, I never turn down the opportunity. I'll tell you a quick story. Back in the early days of my career, if someone needed a drummer, no matter what band, no matter what time of day, I'll do it. So I was playing on a Tuesday night at a club for about 20 people at 11 o'clock at night. Now the bass player in this band happened to play with this jazz keyboard player named Jeff Lorber. Anybody ever heard of Jeff Lorber Fusion? Well, Jeff Lorber was in the audience and he liked me. So he hired me in his band to play in his fusion band, and he was very famous at the time. The problem was, he had no gigs, no shows. So guess what? I booked the shows. Because I said, I'll be damned if I'm going to play in Jeff Lorber's band and not have any gigs. So I booked the gigs. When I started playing with Jeff Lorber, his saxophone player is a guy by the name of Dave Koz. Now Dave Koz is very famous. Dave Koz was playing with an artist named Richard Marx. Anybody ever heard of Richard Marx? Richard Marx played for about 20,000 screaming girls every night. It didn't suck. Dave Koz told me Richard Marx is looking for a drummer. So I went and talked to Richard Marx's manager. And Richard Marx's manager said, we're going to do one more gig with our old drummer, and then we're going to audition drummers. So we'll give you a call then. And I thought, that's not good enough. So I convinced his manager to let me play the last gig as the audition. So I ended up getting the gig with Richard Marx, playing for 15 months all over the world for 20,000 screaming girls every night. Come on! And then through Richard Marx, I met this gal, and I was rehearsing at this rehearsal studio. And at the rehearsal studio, I became friends with a manager because I always get to know everybody. You never can tell who you get to know. You have to let people know that you exist. It's so important. So the manager said, hey Mark, I hear Foreigner's looking for a drummer. Do you want me to hook you up with an audition? I said, sure. So he hooks me up with an audition for Foreigner. I get the Foreigner gig. And then I'm sitting around for a month and nobody calls me. And a friend of mine says, Mark, Foreigner is recording at Conway Recording Studios. Why aren't you there? I said, why aren't I there? I don't know. So I called up Foreigner's manager. I said, Kevin, this is Mark Schulman. Remember me? I'm the drummer of Foreigner. He says, I'm sorry, Mark. We hired this producer named Keith Forsey. And Keith doesn't know who you are, so he brought in another drummer. I said, okay. Kevin, can I have Keith Forsey's phone number? I'd like to call him. He says yes. I call Keith Forsey. I leave a message on his machine. I said, Keith, I'm Mark Schulman. I know you don't know who I am. But if you ever need a drummer and your drummer's ever not available, you call me. Click. 3 months later, the phone rings. It's Keith Forsey. He's British. He goes, yeah, Mark, listen, I'm cutting a track for the Beverly Hills Cop 3 soundtrack. I need a drummer right away. Can you come down? I said, you bet your ass I didn't come down. And this was back in like 1993. And the track was, does anybody remember New Jack Swing? It's like funky, swingy kind of stuff. It's right up my alley. So the track was like this. It's like this kind of groove, like. I got it in the first take. So from that point on, guess who Keith Forsey called to play drums? Now Keith Forsey was the guy that wrote "Don't You Forget About Me" for Simple Minds. Keith Forsey was the guy that co-wrote all of the Billy Idol and produced all of the Billy Idol records. So when Billy needed a drummer, cha-ching, I got the call for Billy Idol. When Simple Minds needed a drummer, cha-ching, I got the call for Simple Minds. So Keith Forsey bought me my first house. And that's all because I took advantage of an opportunity back in 1988 at 11 o'clock at night. So you never, ever turn down any opportunity. And you look for opportunities in everything. Because there's always an opportunity, so don't miss it. So I saw an opportunity. Has anybody ever heard of Pete Lockett? He's an Indian percussionist. And Pete Lockett was playing at the Music Messe in Germany, and I saw him play, and I was like, what the fuck is he playing? Excuse me. And so I saw an opportunity, both to meet a new friend and also hopefully to grow musically. So I ended up becoming friends with Pete,